might actually put in an amendment to create a curfew for men on the streets after 6 p.m, which I feel would make women a lot safer.
So, what's up, YouTube? Poor Man Podcast back with another video. Today's video is going to be a 6 p.m. curfew for men. This is something that a politician, I believe in Australia, suggested for men. And this is exactly where I told you it would go. It's exactly where I said it would go, because when you seek power, when people seek power, it doesn't end there. They always want more. Now, before I get into the video, I got to do the YouTube stuff. The goal is 20,000 subscribers by June. It's a crazy goal. It's a big goal, but it's my goal. All right. And the only way I'm going to get to my goal is if you give me the HBO special. Do you know what the HBO special is? That's the Help a Brother Out special. All right. So go on and help a brother out. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. I'm going to give y'all a second to do that. All right. Now let's get to it. Female politician, suggests that there should be a 6 p.m. curfew put in place for all men. Let's see what they got to say.
A policeman has now been arrested and charged with the murder.
Yes.
The case also ignited fiery debate last week about the old argument to do with giving advice to young women about basic self-defense and self-protection. Firstly, this woman, which we'll show in a second, that she's a former police officer. She got herself into all sorts of trouble for these comments. Have a listen.
Be aware of your surroundings. Be alert. Make sure that you're wearing shoes that you can, run away if need be. And also, take your headphones out. You can hear things better.
So the left went nuts because here's a...
Okay, so basically, there was a female police officer, the lady you just seen, that gave a bunch of suggestions to women to be careful in public places. All right? And this is just common sense. Us as men, being the most likely to be victims of violent crimes across the board outside of the R word, all right? Outside of the R word, men are across the board more likely to be a victim of a violent crime. That's just how it works. So we know these things as men. Just growing up in bad neighborhoods, just me growing up from where I was, I knew, don't walk around unless you prepare for whatever come with it. Don't walk around with headphones on. All right, have some footwear that you can get away in. If you need to defend yourself, have a way to defend yourself. This is common knowledge for men because we understand that nobody's going to save us. All right, but we got women now that want to become the same as men, but don't want the consequences of becoming a man. And I'm sorry, women. I say this all the time. I can't answer for every bad man on the planet. And neither can you answer for every bad woman on the planet. There are women that kill their children. Okay, that's a common, it happens. All right? You can't answer for that as a woman. I can't answer for men that do bad things like commit the R word. There are those men, and those men will always exist. But to try to punish all men with the 6 p.m. curfew is absolutely absurd, and this is where I told people it would go. Empathy is very important. Women are built for empathy. It's the ability to empathize and feel sorry for other people and to commit to make a balance. Because if everything was just ran by men, it would get unfair very quickly. And let's just be completely honest. There would be people that are put in positions of power that would just completely dominate, and we're already seeing that. And what happens is once people feel like everything is built against them, they drop out of the race. They don't want to play the game anymore because they think it's unfair. So that's where empathy comes in to try to balance the playing field. Say, hey, African Americans are here too. Maybe they deserve a chance. Hey, we got Asian Americans. Maybe they deserve a chance. Yes, everyone deserves a chance. You look for equal opportunity, not equal outcome. Okay, and Jordan Peterson, a guy I've been listening to for years, has been preaching this same sentiment. Equal opportunity, not equal outcome, okay? You get the opportunity to become the best player on the football team. You can try out for the team, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the best player. If we made it so that there was always equal outcome, every position across the board would be 50% women. But that's not the case. You get 50% women in fancy jobs like being politicians and CEOs, but you don't get 50% women in jobs that suck like laying bricks. I'm sorry, y'all. I know I went on a rant, but this is super duper important. Okay, for people to understand where this stuff goes, for men to wake up and speak, or it will go south. It will continue to go that way. Let's continue the video. I'm sorry about the rant.
Former policeman telling women, be careful, it's a dangerous world out there. Baroness Jenny Jones, who's a Greens Baroness. I would have thought that would have been a contradiction in terms, but anyway. Tell us what she had to say, Rita.
Oh, my goodness. So she got up in the House of Lords and she suggested putting all men, under a curfew at 6 p.m. Have a look at this.
I would argue that at the next opportunity for any bill that's appropriate, I might actually put in an amendment to create a curfew for men on the streets after 6 p.m, which I feel would make women a lot safer.
So, James, this is the left.
Oh, no.
Warning women and young girls, be careful out there. It's a dangerous world. Don't get caught in it. That's bad. That's terrible, But locking all men up, innocent or guilty, locking them all up from 6 p.m, no problems. That's the left.
Look, I mean, the left and locking up, whole swaths of the population, for just existing has long been a thing of theirs. But that advice that the former policewoman gave, the first clip that we saw, that's exactly the same advice that was given to me when I was a young man growing up in New York City before Giuliani, Bingo. When the place was, an absolute hellhole of crime and so on, was be aware of your situation. Don't be listening to headphones. Know who's around you.
This is
common sense. This is not misogyny. Bingo. Yes, of course, everybody has the right to go out without getting attacked. But the fact is that the human condition is that sometimes there are people out there who have bad intentions. And, it's not denying your own agency to take some precautions, to make yourself less of a target.
Exactly.
I tell you, when I was growing up, I went to an all-girls school and we had self-defense classes for that very reason, because there are bad people in the world. It's foolish to pretend otherwise. And to be empowered, you should do what you can to protect yourself. But now, self-defense classes are also called victim blaming, that if you encourage them, you're basically putting the onus on the potential victim. I mean, what clown world do these people live in? I mean,
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Of course, those who are predators should be prosecuted and chucked in jail. No one's disputing that. But actually protecting yourself and taking some steps to be as empowered as you can be, that is not weakness. That is not victimhood. That is actually sensible. And I would give the same advice to my son.
Exactly. What women are trying to do with with too much empathy, okay, is they're trying to change the world to be a perfect place to fit them. What people don't understand, and I agree, maybe we should have a perfect world. In a perfect world, yeah, these things wouldn't exist. Murder wouldn't be a thing. I would love that too. But that don't mean I'm gonna throw away all my guns and hope that we can just build this perfect world. No sirree. Because the people out to get me, they don't got no common sense. So I got to make sure I can take it there if it needs to be taken there. Okay? What you need to do to protect yourselves from situations, ladies, is be aware of what's going on. Men too. Anytime you have to take self-responsibility so that you can avoid certain situations. If you just blame the world and assume that and just say that things are bad but they should be this way, and you live in a world of what it should be instead of a world of what it is, you'll never be prepared for what is out there in the world. Okay, there will always be bad people in the world. And another thing is, in the full video of the lady, the politician that was talking about the 6 o'clock curfew being put in place, part of her argument at the beginning of that conversation was that women are discriminated against in the criminal justice system. In what world does she live where women are discriminated against in the criminal justice system? Women get 63% less time in their sentencing than men. Women, for the exact same crimes. These are for the exact same crimes. Women are 42% less likely to be convicted of the crime in general. Women are 52% less likely to be put in jail before trial, which has a big effect on how your trial goes, because it gives the what's the word for it? It gives the assumption of guiltiness when they see you that you came out of jail. Everyone knows this. All good lawyers know this. That's why they try to get you to not go to jail before major sentences, before major trials. These are all, and we're not even going to get started with paternity and divorce court advantages. Like, we can't even get into that. That's a whole video, right? And I know I might be a little loud. I know I'm ranting because this stuff matters, okay? When you look at communist societies, when you look at the USSR, when you look at the Communist Party of China, and I know the video probably get demonetized because they run everything in the world now. You look at cultures that have become over empathetic. They said, oh, we should give to everybody without everybody working. And what it does is it allows for people to be lazy. It gives you less incentive to work harder. So you get less creativity because there's no point of being creative if everything you work for just goes to everybody. You see people fleeing California now, millionaires, but in droves, fleeing California and going to Texas because California got too greedy with their taxes. Trying to give to people that don't want to make their lives better. And I understand, okay, there has to be a balance, but that's what I'm saying. It has to be a balance. Things like this can't be allowed. We cannot allow laws like this to become real, policies to become real, because if these things become real, the power never ends. Parties, people in general, they don't relinquish power once they get it. I don't know, when taxes started, let's just use taxes for an example. When taxes started, it was created for the rich, okay? It was an idea created specifically for people in a certain tax bracket. The people who are rich understood where it would go because they're powerful people and they know how power works. They told poor people, don't give the government this power because it will never go away and it won't stop with us. Poor people didn't listen, because they thought that they were going to benefit from this and get whatever from the rich. And now everyone's being taxed. Everybody's being taxed at extremely high rates, and the rates are growing. And now everybody's complaining. And guess what? The smart people, the rich people, they're not the ones paying the taxes. All right, they're the ones getting out of the taxes. Every rich person knows the only way you can become wealthy and maintain your wealth is to avoid taxes. Jeff Bezos paid $1 in taxes. In 19? $1 in taxes. While you go to work every single day and half your paycheck goes to the government, goes to Uncle Sam. And more of it's going to get taken. Mark my words. It's because when you give power, it just continues to grow. And when you talk about feminism or women gaining power, and if the balance is untipped, if we're tipped off balance, you see where it's going to go. Till next time.